The National Assembly convened a special sitting to eulogize the late President Kibaki, who served in Parliament for 50 years, representing Bahati and Othaya constituencies. While lawmakers paid glowing tribute to the country's third president, submissions by MPs took the all-too-familiar political tangent, pitting the Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Alliance team against their counterparts in Kenya Kwanza. We get more from our very own Francis Ashuri.
National Assembly members were recalled from their month-long recess to mourn one of the longest-serving parliamentarians in the country, retired President Kibaki. For 10 years, he represented Bahati constituency in the August House before moving to Othaya constituency, where he served for 8 uninterrupted terms, in total 50 years as a member of parliament. On the floor of the House, members eulogized the late president, hailing the soundness of his economic policies and his prolific debating record in parliament.
Mheshimiwa Kibaki took over a country that was almost directionless, but he was able to come up with Vision 2030, which is a blueprint that again will guide the development of this country.
Mzee Kibaki believed in devolution, Mr. Speaker. It was during his time, Mr. Speaker, that CDF, which was a private member's motion by Engineer Karue, he actually requested Engineer Karue to surrender the bill to be a government bill, Mr. Speaker.
I want to say what he used to tell us in cabinet, that cabinet ministers find time for 3 things. 1, find time for parliament. That is where you will articulate issues. Find time for your constituent and find time for your family.
Si mwingi wa maneno, but mwingi alikuwa mwingi wa vitendo. Alikuwa anataka kusikia Wakenya wanapata faida gani, na ukitaka kumweleza chochote ni umwelezee kuwa Wakenya watafaidika vipi.
But the special house sitting went off course as members of parliament tilted their contributions to suit their factional narratives.
I would like to ask our electorate to honor Mzee Kibaki by looking for his qualities and the characteristics in all those aspirants at all levels. And let's ask ourselves, do you see a Kibaki in your MCA? Do you see a Kibaki or aspects thereof in your member of parliament, in your senator, in your governor?
He was borrowing wisely, Mr. Speaker. The public debt, the burden now is on the Kenyans, Mr. Speaker. We are calling upon the leaders to emulate President Kibaki.
President Kibaki never did business with government when he was president of Kenya. And I want to say, Mr. Speaker, that it is actually criminal for this regime to every time keep on comparing their performance with that of President Kibaki.
Then came the equally factions-inspired comparisons between the late President Kibaki and his successor, President Uhuru Kenyatta.
In his humility in deputizing the commander-in-chief, in his humility in restraint of want and greed, and his principle to walk away when he thought there were differences of principle. These are things to be emulated today, Mr. Speaker, by all that are listening and all that are praising Kibaki.
Mr. Speaker, the next leader of the Republic of Kenya must be like Kibaki. And the closest person to Kibaki is none other than Honorable William Samoei Arap Ruto. That is the closest man.
That Kibaki did not work alone. Indeed, he was blessed to work with 3 vice presidents during his 10-year tenure. And indeed, he was lucky to have had loyal vice presidents. Not like these days when you have a deputy president who has become a leader of opposition.
He knew and understood what state capture and conflict of interest was, and he never entertained it during his reign as president of our republic. And we will live to remember Mwai Kibaki, the greatest president of our times.
We all remember that when the third president was serving as a vice president and also as a minister in the KANU government, there are many times when he was humiliated. There were times that he was actually demoted from the vice presidency taken to the Ministry of Health. He did not abscond duty. He continued serving.
honor of the late president's memory, members of parliament proposed that the newly constructed parliamentary towers be named after Mzee Emilio Mwai Kibaki. Francis Gashuri, Citizen TV.